Congressman Ed Royce is the chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. He's a Republican from California. It's nice to have you with us, sir. Let's not start with Dennis Rodman. Let's hold off on that craziness for just a moment if we can. But I want to ask you about the UN sanctions and the draft resolution that's going to be examined at this closed-door Security Council meeting. What exactly are the details, do you think, of that should be in that?
Well, because the sanctions have the input of China, they're not quite as strong as we'd like to see. One of the approaches we would like to see on the committee is a duplication of what was done in 2005 when we caught North Korea counterfeiting $100 U.S. banknotes. And what we did at that time was to sanction the bank that did it. And that was the bank, Banco Delta Asia, that had been used for the hard currency for the regime. We found that by doing that, we cut off the ability of North Korea to move forward on paying the generals, on their weapons program, on obtaining some of the things they needed for their ICBM program. So I think that would be the type of approach we should use now that they've done their third nuclear test, they're miniaturizing their bomb, and they have a three-stage ICBM that can hit the United States. So given the comments about their intent, I think it's time that at least we curtail the ability of those financial institutions that would do business with the United States. We tell them, no, we're freezing the assets in North Korea. You're not going to be a part of building up that weapons program, because that's what the foreign exchange is used for. That's what the hard currency is used for, is to build up that weapons program.
So at the same time that's happening, what do you make of this Dennis Rodman trip to North Korea and really the whining and dining that's going on at the highest levels?
Well, it's not out of character for the Kim family. If you look at the idiosyncrasies of his father and even his grandfather, that dynasty is given to preoccupation with for his father. His father captured a movie actor and an actress because he wanted to be a director. The son here, he's interested in basketball, so he pays out, I guess, a certain amount of money in order to try to pursue that interest. But what's unusual is, in the meantime, so many people are in these concentration camps. And for a society with the population it has, to have as many people held and doing forced labor for the regime, to have as many people starving. I talked to the senior propaganda minister who defected, who told me 1.9 million people were starved in the rural areas because they considered them the no-go areas, the areas where there wasn't support for the regime. Now, that's a real cruel way to run a country, and that's the past history.
Okay, so then let me ask you a question. There are some people who, when we were, I think it's fair to say, kind of mocking Dennis Rodman's entire trip, there were some who said, listen, you know, mock all you want, but here you have an American who's gotten into North Korea, who's sitting down with a North Korean leader. That's one take on it. And then other people have said, listen, you know, ultimately, is there some good that could potentially come out of his trip there? And I'll tell you honestly, I was kind of a naysayer in that, but I'd like to put that question to you.
Well, I'm just thinking about Kim Jong-un and comparing him to his own father, Kim Jong-il. The father had this preoccupation with movies, and you might say that watching all those Western movies might change his behavior and his attitude toward the rest of the world, the outside world. Instead, as I indicated, he goes out and kidnaps an actress and kidnaps an actor. And it is the most bizarre story you'd ever want to read about. He directs the movie, but at the end of the day, did he change his behavior? No, unfortunately, he did not change his behavior just because he was preoccupied with Western film. And so I'm not sure that this in any way is going to change the grandson of the man who launched the Korean War, cost the lives of 50,000 Americans and over 1 million Koreans by launching that war. This dynasty is composed of individuals who are pretty hard-edged. They might have their hobbies, but at the end of the day, they also have their objective of getting that nuclear weapon, and that's something that we should try to deter through these sanctions.
Congressman Ed Royce, a Republican from California. Nice to see you, sir. Thank you for your time.
Soledad,
appreciate
thank
it.
You.